We set a record last week with the shortest show in DTS history, and the reason for that is that we were traveling for almost 3 weeks, and we had to get a bunch of shows done before we left, no matter how short they were. This week, we have another record.
Do we now?
We do.
We do, because the 8th anniversary of Disney Travel Secrets is today. We launched this podcast at the end of March in 2017, and it has been changing our life, to say the least.
It's what motivated us in 2018 to start our own travel agency, Creating Magic Vacations, and our agency is 100% why we moved here to the Orlando area.
And if you like Disney and cars, stay tuned for a big announcement.
Welcome to Disney Travel Secrets with your host, Rob and Kerri Stewart, the founders of Creating Magic Vacations and authorized Disney vacation planner. They are still a very popular Disney podcast, and not just with their friends and family. Every Monday for over 5 years, they've been bringing you the best and most up-to-date information about all things Disney. The parks, the cruises, and also the luxury of Adventures by Disney. Make sure to follow them on Instagram, where they share content that's mentioned on this very show. Now, here comes the rope drop.
Hello, my friend. Rob and Kerri here in the CMV studio in Windermere, Florida. You're listening to episode 424. Yes, 424 of the Disney Travel Secrets podcast. Original air date, March 31st, 2025.
Okay, so our original air date was March 31st, 2017, when we launched with 3 episodes that day.
And oh, how things have changed quite a bit.
Yeah, so welcome to our 8th anniversary show, and thank you for supporting us over all of these years.
And also, thanks for trusting us and our team of agents, something that we didn't have in 2017 when we started this. Thanks for trusting us with your family vacations, your honeymoons, your anniversary trips, and so much more. None of this would have happened without our podcast mentor, Pat Flynn.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Kerri. I just wanted to wish you a huge congratulations and happy 8-year anniversary for your show, Disney Travel Secrets. For everybody watching and or listening to this right now, Rob and Kerri were my start students 8 years ago when they decided to start this show. And to see them take it from just an idea to where it is now, it's so inspiring. And so I just wanted to call in and say thank you to you both for being amazing, for being action takers. And I've seen the impact that you have now made in the world for your listeners and for people and for Disney and everything. It's just, I'm proud of you guys. Happy anniversary. And I'll see you later.
Thank you, Pat. We really appreciate you.
And most of all, thank you for being our Disney friend and also our real friends.
IRL in real life?
Yes. We are so grateful for the incredible friendships that we have made through this podcast and the business that we have built and helped so many of our listeners also start their career in travel.
You are correct. There are so many to thank, and I think you know who you are.
Yes, you do. So 6 years ago, we invented something called National Wear Your Ears Day, and it was on March 31st. This was just as COVID began. So here's a little backstory on this.
And here's the irony is that we launched, National Wear Your Ears Day, March 31st, 2020. This show is airing on March 31st, 2025.
I know. So here's a little bit of the backstory. National Wear Your Ears Day, if you've never heard about it, which of course you have, you're a Disney fan. We decided when the world was on shutdown and we were all stuck in our homes, it was like, you need to stay home, don't go out. And we decided, you know what? We've all been in our homes for about 10 days at this point. What can we do to spread some Disney cheer? Because Disney does put a smile on everybody's face, right? And so we decided it'd be really fun for people to pull out their ears. It didn't matter if maybe they were working in healthcare, maybe they were stuck at home, working from home, maybe they're with like the kids that were all at home, nobody could go to school. So we challenged everybody to put on your ears, take a picture, post it on social media, just to spread what I call Disney cheer. See what I did there?
Wait, did you spell that CHEAR?
I sure did.
think you did.
But over the last 5 years, this is now the 6-year anniversary, this has become something really fun to do on the 31st. So if you're catching this on the original air date and you are wearing your ears, make sure you take a picture, post it on social, and tag Disney Travel Secrets, and also hashtag National Wear Your Ears Day.
So something that was kind of funny is I went into Perplexity. For you guys that don't know, that's what I use instead of Google. And I said, okay, tell me the history of National Wear Wear Your Ears Day. And it says it started March 31st, 2020. And shame on Perplexity or whoever they're searching. They did not give us credit for that.
Yeah. No, we really did start it.
And so I said, but what about Rob and Kerri Stewart? Because Perplexity said, well, they talk about it, but there's no clear history on if they really started it.
We did.
Perplexity, we did.
We did.
So here's what we want you to do. Take a photo of you with your ears on, wherever you are. Not an old picture that you're just going to recycle. You have to take it today and tag us. And again, the hashtag National Wear Your Ears Day.
Yeah, our photo will be in our social.
So in the open, we mentioned Disney and cars. That might have been a slight misdirection.
Just a little bit. And you're probably thinking the movies or maybe the area at Disney California Adventure, or my favorite, Tow Mater, but no.
So we're talking about actual cars. We're thrilled to announce our special Week on the Wish cruise with our friend and very popular car guru, car influencer, Steve Hamilton.
And if you are a part of this crazy culture like Rob is, whether it's a car club like the Porsche Owners Club like we belong to, or you just go to like a local Cars and Coffee, you probably know of him because of the Hamilton collection.
He really is, I will say, one of the nicest guys in the car community. He also happens to be our neighbor. And he has a massive following on YouTube, 1.89 million subscribers and 973 million views. Now, in one video, this is freaking hilarious. He actually used 3 of his supercars, including a Bugatti and a McLaren, and he and 2 of his buddies became Jimmy John's delivery drivers for a day. They're delivering Jimmy John's sandwiches in supercars.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of more hypercars.
Yeah, but it actually was very hilarious. I'm not a big car person, but it was funny. And then in another video, he did a very detailed tour of his house in our neighborhood. I mean, it is spectacular.
Yes.
Again, super nice guy. And we are so looking forward to cruising with him in September on our Week on the Wish cruise. And we would love to have you come and join us.
Okay, you guys should join us. So the dates are September 22 to 26. And for the first time, we've cruised the Wish multiple times. We haven't done it during the week. It's normally the weekends. For the first time, we're going to be on the Wish in concierge.
I'm excited about that. And there still are suites in concierge level. So just go to creatingmagicvacations.com, fill out the form, and then just type in Week on the Wish as the destination, or you can click on the link in the show description to see the itinerary. And stay tuned, because if you like specials, we're going to tell you what Disney is doing this summer later on in the show.
So again, a quick update. You know that we've been gone for a couple weeks. That's why our shows were a little bit shorter. We had an amazing time cruising the Danube on AMA Waterways. We were on the Amalia. AMA Waterways is the river cruise partner of choice. If you're going to do an Adventures by Disney river cruise, it will be on an AMA Waterways ship. So do us a favor. If you would like to give us something for our 8th anniversary, please go over to the Travel Inspired podcast and click subscribe either on YouTube or follow us wherever you listen to actually the show. If you could follow the Travel Inspired podcast, that would be a huge, huge anniversary gift for us.
I like that.
So when it comes to movies, we go to them fairly often. We have a membership at the little AMC Disney Springs thing. We have not seen Snow White yet. Again, we've only been home a couple days.
I know, it's like we have been out of town.
I will say we don't plan to until it comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I mean, when the actress becomes the story, I think that's a little bit of a problem. I mean, we have even seen some posts of people, though, that really liked it. But how did you not only CGI the dwarfs, you took the name dwarf out of the title?
Yeah, they did that. I think it was a missed opportunity to not have hired real actors for those parts. But again, not our call.
Yeah, well, sadly, I hate to admit that when the writer's strike happened a couple of years ago in Hollywood, it 100% affected the quality of the movies that have been coming out the past couple of years. So I'm really looking forward to when the good shows are back, hopefully sooner than later.
And I remember we were on our Adventures by Disney, and we saw Harrison Ford in the picket line.
Yeah, we did. We crossed the picket line to do our tour.
That was more of a technicality.
I know, the bus drove over it. I get it.
Yeah, not over the picketers.
No, not over the picketers. Okay, moving on.
So for our 8-year anniversary show, again, episode 424, we thought it'd be fun to share what a dream trip to Walt Disney World would look like. Something for your dream builders list, as we call it.
I know. I've been really excited about this one. And it is so fun, though, to see how the other 1% lives.
You almost said the other half.
I
The
know.
other half.
It's really like almost half a percent.
It's really not half of people live like this.
But sometimes on social media, it's so fun to just see people living in these crazy mansions, driving these super hyper cars, dressing in all designer clothes. I have to say, I am guilty of following all those things about
You are.
cool suites on the commercial airlines and those over-the-top vacations.
So the trip we're going to share isn't something like staying in the castle, because you cannot do that as a regular guest. Literally, the only person that gets to stay there, and I think he's there every week, is Neil Patrick Harris. I'm not sure you knew where I was going.
I knew where you were going.
So this is a classic Disney World trip that if you won the lottery or wanted to go all out, you could.
So at the end of the day, you're still going to be going on the same rides and attractions. You're going to see the same characters, but you get to do it in style. It's kind of like the difference of going to a fast food compared to a sit-down meal at a Michelin restaurant. It comes down to the experience.
And, we always tell people when you're comparing two different resorts to think about the experience, because there is, I think, a pretty huge difference in waking up to river views at Port Orleans French Quarter compared to resort view. And yeah, I get that's a small comparison, but just that little thing, you wake up and you get to see, the Sassagoula River versus a parking lot. Yeah, I'm going to go with the river view every time.
Me too. Or let's say that you're on a cruise and you're like, that inside cabin with no real view. Compare that to the experience of walking out on an oversized private balcony with a hot cup of coffee or a glass of champagne to enjoy the sunrise or sunset.
And yes, we have clients who have done these types of trips that may seem over the top. Probably does. It doesn't seem over the top to them. We have a client that is staying right now in the funnel suite on the Disney Treasure, and we were going to try to price it out, except that thing is always sold out.
It is. It's crazy.
It's probably, I think, somewhere north of like $75,000 for a week, but Disney offers them for a reason. There are guests that want this experience, and they will pay for it without blinking an eye.
This is so true. Again, it is your vacation investment. And I know many people who will actually save money in some areas of their life, but they will spend like crazy on their vacation because they know they will remember the experience long after they forgot the price.
I wholeheartedly embrace that mindset.
Of course you do.
So our honeymoon is a great example. Back in 2009, we went to Europe, and it was the first time for both of us. It was a 12-night sailing round trip from Rome on the then new at the time Carnival Dream. It was the third voyage, and we chose what was then called the Penthouse Suite. They should really go back to that. I really like the sound of that.
I know, right? But after that, we took the train to Florence, and we spent 3 nights up there. And that trip is how we fell in love with Italy, and something that we obviously still vividly remember. And I couldn't even begin to tell you how much we spent on that honeymoon.
It really was that trip that got us to not only love Italy and travel, but also really exploring the world.
Yes, it was. Okay, so let's talk about your dream trip to Disney World.
That sounds like a question on a game show.
It does.
Okay, so we're going to break it into transportation, accommodations, dining, in-park experience, and you can do the same at home and play along like a game show on what you would do in this scenario.
Okay, so let's start with transportation. We assume you are flying into Orlando International Airport. So from your home, you are going to be picked up in a private black car transfer service and taken to the airport, where you just breeze through security in that first class lane.
Okay, technically it's not first class. We know it's business class, right?
Well, okay.
So on board, you will travel in said business class. Again, in the U.S., most every domestic first class is just business class, but we'll take it. So upon arrival, you're going to head to baggage claim, where you're greeted by your driver holding a sign with your name, probably on an iPad, not the old written kind.
Not the old written kind anymore, no.
Welcoming you to Orlando. And your driver takes your luggage and walks you out to your black SUV from Fleet Transportation, our partner.
Now, you could do a minivan, but we're going to be doing more of those during your stay. So let's do the limo this time.
Okay, fine. We'll do the limo.
And for this trip, we're going to go classic. So you're going to be staying at Disney's Grand Floridian in the Grand Suite. We have many suites to choose from here, but this one is extra special.
Now, this is one of the original suites. It's also where Princess Diana stayed in 1993 when she brought William and Harry to Disney. So this suite is on the 5th floor of the main building. Of course, it has full club level access. Some of the features include 5 balconies with fireworks views. So think about that. You could be a family of 5 everyone gets their own balcony. How cool is that?
That is
no,
pretty
I
cool.
want this balcony. That's okay. We all get a balcony.
Some are smaller than others, though.
Oprah, you get a balcony. You get a balcony.
So this is a 2-bedroom suite. It has a really nice rotunda living area. And because we are fancy, we are going to order some fresh florals from Disney Floral and Gifts, and also a welcome gift basket for the family. So this is going to be really cool when you check in.
Of course it is. Sadly, Disney does not have butlers, so you will be unpacking yourself like the peasants. So this is a funny story. In the news reports, when Princess Di was at Walt Disney World, they reported that while she did get some backstage access to some rides, there were some attractions where she did have to be with said peasants, which is what you call people when you're a princess.
No, they actually had in the newspaper article, they actually said that she did have to be with the commoners on select shows.
That's what we say. She calls them peasants.
No, it was commoners in the paper. Okay, so let's head into the parks now and see how that experience is going to be different. So we went ahead and we have the 6-day park hopper plus because we want options and we don't want to be limited on what we do, whether it's maybe going to the water parks, mini golf, foot golf, or just the parks itself. But we all know that as bougie as you are in this case, you are not stepping a foot on mini golf. Let's be real here.
Not without your glass slippers. So the first day, we don't stress about planning because our VIP guide has it all taken care of. We skip the standard transportation and are picked up in a private SUV with our guide.
I know. I love that pickup. And we do have a VIP tour guide for 6 of our 6 park days. Why not, right? Now,
we can afford it. We just won the lottery.
We did. And we do have a private cabana at the water park because we're going to do that for half of one of the days. And while you may think, do you really need a VIP tour guide every day? Well, you know what? One of our agents does have a client who does this, and especially during the holidays. And for them, it is worth every penny.
The rides are the rides. The experience, though, is you walk on to every attraction. The day is easy. Your VIP guide has water for you, and they will grab your Starbucks and snacks throughout the day.
I know, Mickey bars, right?
I love this.
Now, when it comes to dining, you have, you'll probably have some of your must-do dining, like a couple of character meals, and maybe some of those super popular restaurants you want to get into. And because you are traveling like a VIP, you don't have to stress about those advanced reservations. Your VIP guide and the concierge can help you get them and adjust as needed. It's kind of cool.
It is nice to not have to be locked into a reservation per se. They even help you get the private room at the cake bake shop for a nice lunch or dinner.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful room, especially if you have a group.
We have seen the room. We just did a walk by.
Yeah, we did. Well, we did a little mini tour.
Yes, we did.
Okay, by this time, as you walk through the parks, everyone is going to start wondering, what celebrity are you? So our advice is enjoy it. Now, the biggest difference while in the parks is going to be the pacing. You can still do that 10-hour day if you want. Enjoy your meals, even with your guide. You're not worried about, packing every minute in with your VIP guide. So you'll sit down and have some meals with them.
And we've done that in the past as far as, we'll get a VIP tour and we'll split it with friends to help make it more affordable. But we try to maximize the minimum 7 hours that you have to pay for. And it makes it for a fun but fast-paced day. I think we enjoy more of a leisure day.
Yeah, because it was stressful trying to get everything in.
Yes.
Yeah. But this overall experience in the parks feels different when money is no object. You enjoy the best viewing locations for the shows, and especially those fireworks shows, the best spots, stress-free. Those are 2 words to describe it.
And then at the end of the trip, your bellman comes to your room, picks up all your bags, and you head down to meet your private black car, again from Fleet Transportation. It drops you off at the airport where you return home in business class, and are then met with your private car service from your home airport and back to your house.
So wonderful, right? So I really do love me some door-to-door service,
do.
Though.
Trust me, I know that.
But what a fun trip and a different experience. And who doesn't want to be a VIP, right? I think Disney does a great job, though, of making all their guests feel like a VIP, but traveling in this style definitely is a different experience than staying in that standard room or at a moderate or a value.
When it comes to planning a trip, if you have the means,
I highly recommend picking one up.
as a bonus trip, you can do the same thing for a Disney cruise. get the funnel suite or the tower suite. If that's a little too big, maybe just get a balcony, but get the 2-story suite or the 1-bedroom suite like our friend Steve is getting in September.
Now, there is a fancy vacation for every travel style. And the crazy thing is that these sell out. So I tried to find a week at the Grand Suite at Grand Floridian. And when it was available, it was super, super hard. And the one I did find was in the summer, which is also the least expensive because who wants to be at Disney in the heat of summer?
But it was still probably about $4,000 a night.
It was. So here's what the numbers were. So for a full week with the 6-day park ticket for a family of 4, the suite came in around $31,000 with tickets. But your VIP tours are going to cost you more in addition, and they're actually going to cost you more than what you're going to spend on your room and tickets. So say like $50K for 6 days of that.
Well, then you got food and transfers and airfare. We didn't factor that in. So this could easily be a $100,000 vacation. So if you win the lottery or come into some money and you want to go all out, this is a fun trip for the uber Disney fan, or maybe you just want to spend your kids' inheritance, make them earn money the old-fashioned way, earn it themselves. Who knows? I don't know.
I know that's become a trend these days, though. I mean, I work with a lot of people that are doing that. Now, one thing I didn't even include in this is the shopping time at Disney Springs, or all those cute outfits that you're going to plan for your family. And get this, did you know there are Disney stylists out there who can outfit you for your entire family for a trip? And there's Disney bounding specialists. You can hire these people. It's so crazy.
It absolutely is. If you are traveling with kids and you want to enjoy an adult night out, you can hire a nanny to come to your resort and watch the kids.
And here's what I would like to know. What is your dream trip? If you had $100K, of course, that may be a little out of budget. So let's knock that down. Maybe you have a special occasion, or maybe you have like a little celebration that you want to do, like a little mini getaway. Here's my advice is splurge, go for it. Don't do one night in a fancy suite though. You're going to want to stay at least 2. So plan accordingly.
You know what? We have not done a VIP group tour in a long time.
It's been a long time.
Probably a couple years.
Yeah.
Maybe we should bring that back and have you guys join us.
I like that idea. We should 100% do that. Well, we'll start getting some interest in the Superfans Facebook group.
Yeah.
Now, if you aren't quite to the super bougie budget yet, Disney did just come out with several promos this past week for the summer and the fall. There are what you call a Brazilian promos.
You said gazillion.
I said
I'm like,
a gazillion,
no, it's
you said a Brazilian. But these are
yes.
not for Brazil. These are for you.
They are. Correct. These are for U.S. residents.
Yeah. So they do have specials for the summer. There's ticket specials. There's discounts. There's free dining. There's Disney Visa. There's Florida resident annual pass. There are so many.
Wow, you just knocked those out really quick.
I know. There's a gazillion.
There really are so many options out there. So make it easy on yourself. Work with either, Kerri, myself, or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors to make sure that we can help you navigate through all these different specials and maximize the value you get for your trip.
So thanks again for a great past 8 years with Disney Travel Secrets, and happy National Wear Your Ears Day. Be sure to post your photos, tag us, and thank you for being a part of Disney Travel Secrets. We appreciate you and your support.
Until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.